Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Subject is corporate governance and social responsibility. Today's topic is the board of director. Teaching agenda for today lecture is board is a principal instrument of governance, type of ineffective board, power of board, delegation of power by board, function of board, tools available to board, responsibility and accountability, borrowing power of the board. Board is a principal instrument of the governance. In modern organization, corporation are set up in a manner that management and ownerships are separated. The owner are shareholder, they are not allowed to participate in the management of the company, and management sit inside the business and they operate business on behalf of the shareholder. Since management run it and shareholder own it, so there is a gap between these two parties, and there is a there is a conflict of interest between the two parties as well. For example, shareholder want to increase its value of wealth, while management control the resources and may use its power in order to enjoy a huge benefit such as high salaries, high perks, good offices at the cost of the at the expense of shareholder benefit. So the bridge between these two group is board of directors. Shareholders elect a board of director in annual general meeting by casting their vote. So why they elect the board? In order to monitor the management. Board is a forum through which the board is a forum through which shareholder can protect their interest, because they elect the board and the board then monitor and oversee the management activities. Is it according to the policies written in the document or not? Are they efficient? Are they doing the right thing at right time or not? So that is the duties of the board. Effective board improve governance, performance, access to capital, better reputation. If the board of governor of any of the firm is effective, the board will have good governance, and as a result of the good governance, the performance of the management enhance. When the performance of the management enhance, so the investor in the prevailing market will extend their capital to this good reputed firm at better terms and condition. New shareholder will invest in their IPOs. New potential investor will also buy their shares, and similarly bank will be ready to extend borrowing to these well-reputed firm who have a good and effective board of directors. Ineffective board cause harm to shareholder, deteriorate performance, and poor market reputation and unaffordable capital. It's obvious that if the board is not effective, it will harm all the shareholders. It will not be in a position to manage or to oversee the management. It will not be in a position to set long-term objective of the company. So it will deteriorate performance and get poor reputation in the market. So nobody will be willing to invest in such type of firm. Board should listen to all stakeholders that are associated with the companies. And when board is drafting their policy, they should keep these all stakeholder and ensures that the concerns are implemented in the policies to address the issues if any of the stakeholder have any issue with the companies. Board is required by a corporate governance regulation around the globe to make reforms for protection of stakeholder. Uh, uh, Approximately all over the world, where there is a corporate form of business exists, it is required by that specific code of the country that the company must have a board to protect the safeguard protect and safeguard the stake of the all parties associated with him, which is called stakeholders. So what is the role of the board? The board should play entrepreneurial leaderships. Entrepreneurial leadership means that it will have to take a risk in order to get a reward. It should search for new business opportunity. It should the board should give long-term path to the business to the companies. The board should set objectives. Strategic objective means long-term objective, not short-term. Short-term objectives are not come in the scope of the board. It is basically the job of the management to achieve strategic objective and then formulate some mid-term and short-term objective. Review performance of the management to ensure the policy implementation. That is also one of the job of the board of directors. Arrange resources need to implement the plan. The board of directors is also required to arrange resources to the management and then want them to implement the plan. Board of director always set mission for the company, vision and value statement, and also draft code of conduct in order to ensure that the business will remain ethical in conducting their business activities. Moving further, type of ineffective board. What is ineffective board? Theoretically, yes, shareholder elect the board in annual general meeting by casting their shows, but practically in Pakistan and other developing countries, the sitting board elect new board by nominating the members of the board. Even sometimes most of the guy remains same and enjoy the other tenure in the board because they are re-elected. In Pakistan, since businesses are owned by members, family members and groups, and more than 50% of the shareholding, so controlling shareholder elect the board and minority shareholder have no say in to elect the board because they have not much number of shares to elect or to nominate any director at the board. These family members and groups do not want to have effective board because they want to enjoy a free hand in the decision making process. Executive director elect whole board led to below an effective board. So as we said that practically in Pakistan or in developing nations, board is elected by the sitting board. So executive directors elect the board. So what type of board there may be? First is rubber stamp board. We will discuss each one. Good old boy board, country club board, paper board, and traffic board. So rubber stamp board is basically the board that is consist by those non-executive directors who are just yes person, and the dominant personality are any one of the family members make decision and use the board as just rubber stamp because these board members sign the decision of the policy and approved it in the manner the chief executive of the chairman or any person who is family members want the decision in their own way. Good old boy board or country club board. This is a type of board where chairman or CEO, old friends, are invited to have a membership or to have elected at the board in which he is a CEO. So in meeting, they just went to the, they just enjoyed the tourist part for the meeting of the company, like for example, Bourbon Murray or somewhere in northern areas, and then just they meet there and talk about their old days and nothing about the business of the company. And meeting are approved as the CEO want or as the chairman of the company want in their own way. Paper board means the board exists just in a paper. They are not really exist as a board. I mean, the collective teamwork is not there. For example, in many companies, the CEO wife is also a member of the board. The family members, the person, the chairman, old friend is a member of the board. His son is member of the board. His daughter is member of the board. So the board really not a board in real term. It is in paper. It exists in paper, and even it is hard to hear that such type of board have conducting meeting throughout the year. Trophy board, when the board, when there is a member in the board is just like a celebrities or any known person or any philanthropist, to have existence in the board in order to show the people that we have such type of people in our board, and we discuss the business affair in the board and take care of all people. Power of the board. What are power of the board? The board have power to conduct the business of the company is authorized in memorandum of association. They are collective. These are collective power. Individual director have no power to make decision on their own way. The mode of exercise, the power is to pass resolution in a already convened meeting. The meeting is convened, and then they decided the matter, and then they pass a resolution in order to resolve the issues. Sources of power of board, the company's bylaws such as article and memorandum of association, law of the country, company ordinance 1984 in Pakistan, or any resolution passed by the shareholder, or any industry practices in which the board have certain power. So these are the sources of the power of the board. Delegation of power by the board. Board may delegate its own or more power to any person. For example, the board delegated the power to the CEO to sign any MOU on behalf of the board. The person not necessarily be a board member. Sometimes the board also delegates some power to a member who is not a board member, who may be any expert, and the board delegates its power to act certain, to do certain job. Laws, I mean national laws, bylaws of the company such as memorandum of association and article of association authorize the board to delegate power. This can be done through passing a resolution in the meeting with the requisite majority. So the board are authorized by memorandum of association and article of association and laws to delegate power. Even the board, this power of delegation is given to the board through passing a resolution with the requisite majority. Delegation of power do not waive a board from its responsibility. Although the board delegates the power, but board will be still responsible for any act that comes in the spectrum of the board responsibilities. Board should pay due attention when delegating the power. Is it really necessary to delegate the power? There is no other way to do the job. What is appropriate method for delegating the power? So it should be done through proper forum, such as in convened meeting, by passing a resolution. So place effective system, the delegated power are not misused. There should be check and balance placed by the board on the person to whom he delegated the power. What are function of the board? The oversight function of the board. We'll discuss first these functions. The supervision and oversight of the management is one of the function of the board. Board approved strategic plan of the company. The board also approved annual budget. The board also signed the engagement letter with external auditor. Means they appoint the external auditor. Actually, external auditor are appointed in annual general meeting by the shareholders, and they nominate or they nominate the auditor and then approved by the shareholder in annual general meeting, ensuring the integrity and reliability of the annual report of the company. This is done through audit committee which are formed by the board. Reviewing operational activities and match it with the planning of the budget. That is basically one of the control or corrective action that the board is responsible for the oversight function in the company. Function of the board is basically directional function of the company. The board is responsible to set company's mission, vision, and value statement. The board also conduct code of conduct. Board also draft code of conduct for the management to operate its management and applies to operate the activities in an ethical way. Board also appoint chief executive officer and other senior executive. Board is responsible to plan or to have certain succession planning in order to ensure that who will replace who in case of retirement or in death. The board is responsible to make a committee, audit committee, remuneration committee, financial reporting committee, or any other committee at board level. The other functions or group of function is advisory function of the board. General guidance on happening in corporate world, means technical advice if the board have any capacity. Second is to perform the function that is basically advisory function, means to give advice on the sales, to give advice on the new machinery that are available, to give advice on the production facility, to give advice on the total quality management. So these are advisory function of the board. We will move further. What are tools available to the board in order to perform this function? To perform the function, the following tools are available to the board. Composition of the board, means they will be executive director, non-executive director, independent non-executive director. The board should have independence. It should be independent of the management or majority shareholder or controlling shareholder. The board have committees in order to perform these function. The board can get external help from any expert if there is any deficiency in the board to perform its function of advisory or other function. The board may invite government intervention if the issue is very crucial and it is a threat to the very existence of the company. Responsibility and accountability of the board. Responsibility is basically refers to act and duties performed by a person or a body that are already performed. He is responsible for these jobs and acts he have done. Accountability refers to explain and give account of what has been done. So the responsibility of the board is to conduct the business of the company as mentioned in law or memorandum of association or article of association. while board is accountable to shareholder for any task if questions by the shareholder. Board is not accountable to any other person. The responsibilities of the board are, there are collective responsibility of the board. So director cannot be held responsible for any act done on behalf of the company. So the whole board have a responsibility. Act in the best interest of the company. The board should have accountable to the owners. The board have certain statutory duties such as drafting minutes, preparing minutes of the meeting, checking financial statement, listing requirement of the company must be ensured. There are some fiduciary or trusteeship duty of the board, since the company is in the hand of the director as a trust, and he should perform the trusteeship duties. Borrowing power of the board. The company is not totally run by equity. It also borrow fund from other sources as well. So board has the power to borrow fund for the company for in order to invest in a new project, in order to expand the company, and for any other reason. In law, there is no limitation that how much amount should be borrowed. But in Pakistan, prudential regulation of the State Bank of Pakistan placed some restriction on the board that borrowing should be extended on the guarantee of the member of the board of directors. Borrowing is necessary for a new project because the borrowing give tax shield to the company. Interest paid on borrowing is tax deductible expense. The board basically match the two things: life of the project and loan duration. The project earn for the company and earn also principal amount and earn also interest. So they match their life. When the project expired, the loan also expired and the company grow. Negotiating loan from the bank is easier than issuing a new securities, because loan from the bank is dealing 1% or 2% hardly that are employee of the company, but issuing a new securities you will deal a lot of people and follow a lot of step and also bear a risk of unsubscription. So the companies borrow fund to finance a new project, but board should maintain a balance between availability of fund and payback ability. Insolvency occur due to overborrowing. So vigilant board can save companies from insolvency. Be the law or any other code, it is very hard to place restriction on the borrowing of the company, because nobody knows that how much it is currently, how much fund is needed by the company in that specific time period. This is all about today's lecture. Thank you.